There comes a moment in life when heaven opens its doors and what you've been waiting for, what you've been crying out for, is about to be released. You don't even see it yet, but the shift has already begun. The prayers you whispered in the silence, the tears you wiped away when no one was watching, the burdens that felt too heavy to carry, God has been listening all along. There's something stirring in the spiritual realm, something so powerful that it will change the course of your destiny. But are you ready for it? Because when God moves, He doesn't just answer prayers, He transforms lives. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you will understand why your breakthrough is closer than ever before. When God sets something in motion, nothing in the universe can stop it. The winds may rise, the storms may rage, and obstacles may stand in your way. But if God has decreed a thing, it shall come to pass. The enemy has tried to convince you that your prayers are in vain, that your waiting is pointless, that heaven has forgotten you. But let me tell you something. Faith is not measured by how long you wait, but by how much you trust the one you're waiting on. You see, we serve a God who operates outside of time. He is not confined by deadlines, nor is He restricted by human schedules. What may seem like a delay is often divine preparation. God doesn't just want to give you what you asked for. He wants to make sure you're in the right position to receive it. Because a blessing given at the wrong time can feel like a curse. The Israelites prayed for deliverance from Egypt, but before they entered the promised land, they had to go through the wilderness. Not because God was punishing them, but because He was preparing them. Their minds had been conditioned for slavery, and God needed to transform them into warriors. And that is exactly where some of you are right now. You're standing in the wilderness, questioning why God hasn't answered yet. You're wondering if He even heard you. But what if I told you that God has already released the answer? What if I told you that everything you prayed for has already been set in motion, but God is waiting for you to be ready to handle it? Some of you are praying for opportunities, but God is teaching you discipline so you don't waste them when they come. Some of you are praying for financial blessings, but God is refining your character so money doesn't control you. Some of you are asking for relationships to be restored, but God is working on your heart so that when reconciliation happens, it's built on the right foundation. God doesn't just give, He prepares. That's why when you pray, you must also posture yourself for what's coming, because when God moves, He moves suddenly. One moment Joseph was in prison, the next he was standing before Pharaoh. One moment Esther was an orphan, the next she was queen. One moment David was a shepherd, the next he was anointed as king. God does not operate in small measures. He moves in ways that defy human understanding. This is why you cannot afford to lose faith now. The enemy knows that you're on the verge of breakthrough, and he is trying everything to make you give up right before it happens. This is why the attacks have intensified. This is why doubt is creeping into your mind. This is why everything seems to be falling apart. But listen to me. The closer you get to what God has for you, the harder the battle will become, because the enemy is terrified of what happens when you step into the fullness of what God has promised. But here's the good news. Satan does not have the final say over your life. No delay, no detour, no obstacle can override the will of God. If God spoke it, it will happen. The question is, will you remain faithful in the waiting? Will you keep pressing forward when everything in you wants to give up? Because right now, at this very moment, your breakthrough is closer than you think. The spiritual realm is shifting. What was once blocked is now opening. What was once delayed is now being released. What was once out of reach is now being handed to you. But God is asking you to remain steadfast, to stand firm in faith, to keep declaring His promises even when you don't see them yet. Because faith is not about seeing, it's about believing. Do you remember the story of Elijah when there had been a drought in the land for 3.5 years and God told him that rain was coming? Elijah didn't see a storm. He didn't see thunderclouds forming. All he saw was a tiny cloud no bigger than a man's hand. But Elijah didn't wait for the storm to believe in the rain. He knew that even a small sign was enough proof that God was moving. Some of you are waiting for God to show you the full picture before you believe. You're waiting for every door to open, for every problem to disappear, for every sign to be clear. But faith doesn't work like that. Faith says, God, I trust you even when I can't see how this will work out. I trust you even when the evidence is small. I trust you because you have never failed me before and you won't start now. Right now the heavens are opening over you. Right now God is moving things in your favor. Right now the prayers you thought were forgotten are being answered. But you must get ready, because when the answer comes, you won't have time to prepare. You must be in position now. You must be spiritually aligned now. You must be ready to step into what God has already set in motion. There are people who will not understand the season you are in. They will try to convince you that nothing is happening. They will try to plant doubt in your heart. They will try to keep you stuck in the past when God is calling you into the future. But this is not the time to listen to voices of discouragement. This is the time to hold on to what God has spoken. This is the time to walk by faith and not by sight. I don't know who this message is for, but I feel in my spirit that someone watching this right now is on the brink of something supernatural. You are about to step into a season you never imagined possible. The struggle has been long, the nights have been dark, but the dawn is here. The breakthrough is happening. The promise is being fulfilled. God is about to shock you with how fast He turns things around. But I must ask you again, are you ready? Are you ready to step into what you've been praying for? Are you ready to move when God says move? Because when the floodgates open, when the doors swing wide, you won't have time to second guess. You must walk boldly into what God has for you. This is not the time to shrink back. This is not the time to doubt. This is not the time to let fear hold you back. Because what God has planned for you is bigger than you can imagine. What He is about to release will exceed every expectation. What He is about to do in your life will bring Him glory in ways you never thought possible. But He is looking for those who are ready, those who will trust Him completely, those who will say, Lord, no matter what it looks like, I will keep believing. No matter how long it takes, I will keep praying. No matter what obstacles come, I will keep moving forward. Because something is shifting, something is changing, something you've been praying for is about to happen. Keep believing, keep standing, keep expecting, because God is not finished yet. The very thing you have been praying for, the breakthrough that has seemed so far away, is already moving toward you. You may not see it yet, but in the spiritual realm, the foundation has been laid. The shift has taken place. The answer is on the way. But now comes the most critical part. Your faith must remain unshaken, because the moment before the manifestation is often the hardest moment of all. The moment before the door opens is when the enemy fights the hardest to make you walk away. The moment before the promise is fulfilled is when doubt starts whispering the loudest. This is where many people miss it. They pray, they believe, they wait, but when the waiting stretches longer than expected, when obstacles rise instead of disappear, they start questioning if they even heard God correctly. But let me remind you, God is not a man that He should lie. He does not make empty promises. If He said it, they will do it. If He declared it over your life, it is only a matter of time before it comes to pass. Think about Abraham. God promised him a son, but years passed and nothing happened. In the natural, it looked impossible. He and Sarah were too old. Their bodies were past the age of bearing children. Every logical sign pointed to failure, but God had already spoken. And when God speaks, time bows to His word. Science bows to His word. Nature bows to His word. The impossible becomes possible, not because circumstances change, but because God commands it to be so. And when the appointed time came, Sarah gave birth to Isaac, just as God had said. Some of you are in that waiting season right now. You are watching the clock, counting the days, wondering why God hasn't moved yet. But let me tell you something. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean there isn't progress. Just because you don't hear anything doesn't mean heaven is silent. God is not ignoring you. He is aligning things in your favor. He is making sure that when your answer comes, it comes in fullness, not in fragment. He is orchestrating events in ways you cannot see, moving people into place, removing obstacles before you even know they exist. This is why you must not grow weary. This is why you cannot afford to quit now. The enemy wants you to believe that your prayers have been in vain. He wants you to think that God has forgotten you. He wants to plant seeds of discouragement so that you let go right before the breakthrough. But I came to tell you, don't let go. Don't stop believing. Don't lose faith, because you are closer than you think. I want you to imagine a farmer who plants seeds in the ground. He waters them. He cares for them, but for weeks he sees nothing. In the natural, it looks like nothing is happening. But underground, the seed is breaking open, roots are stretching down, foundations are being established. And then suddenly, one day, the first sprout pushes through the soil. The growth was happening all along. It just wasn't visible. That is what God is doing in your life. The promise is already rooted. The blessing is already forming. The miracle is already in motion. And when the appointed time comes, what was hidden will be revealed. What was delayed will be released. What was out of reach will be placed in your hands. But will you hold on long enough to see it? Will you remain faithful in the process? Because faith is not just believing when things are easy. It's trusting when things don't make sense. It's standing firm when everything in you wants to give up. This is why Jesus told his disciples to have faith the size of a mustard seed. A mustard seed is tiny, almost invisible, but when planted, it grows into one of the largest trees. That's how faith works. It may start small, but if you hold on to it, if you refuse to let it go, it will grow into something unshakable. And right now, that faith is being tested. Right now, the enemy is trying to distract you, trying to discourage you, trying to make you doubt what God has already spoken. But you must not listen to those lies. You must stand on the truth of God's word, because God is faithful. He is not a halfway God. He does not bring you to the edge of the promise only to leave you stranded. If he started it, he will complete it. If he called you to it, he will make a way. Some of you have been praying for healing, and it seems like things are getting worse instead of better. Some of you have been praying for restoration, but the situation looks more broken than ever. Some of you have been asking God for direction, but it feels like you're stuck in a season of silence. But let me remind you, God does his greatest work in the moments when we feel the weakest. When Lazarus was sick, Jesus did not rush to heal him. He waited until Lazarus was dead. Not because he didn't care, but because he wanted to show his power in a way that no one could deny. Some of you feel like your dreams have died. You feel like your purpose has been buried. But God is about to call forth what the enemy declared finished. He is about to breathe life into what looked impossible. He is about to prove that nothing is too hard for him. But you must believe. You must prepare. You must be ready, because when the door opens, you won't have time to second guess. God does not operate according to human logic. He does not work on human timelines. His ways are higher. His thoughts are greater. And what he has planned for you is beyond what you can imagine. The breakthrough won't come the way you expected. The answer won't arrive in the way you predicted, but it will come. And when it does, it will leave no doubt that it was the hand of God. This is why you must continue to walk in obedience, because obedience is the key that unlocks the promise. When Naaman needed healing, the prophet told him to dip in the Jordan River 7 times. At first he resisted. It didn't make sense. It seemed foolish. But when he obeyed, his healing came. Some of you are waiting for God to move, but he is waiting for you to obey. He is waiting for you to step out in faith. He is waiting for you to trust him even when you don't understand. Because faith is not about understanding, it's about believing. It's about trusting that even when the path isn't clear, God is still leading. It's about knowing that even when you don't see the way, God is still making one. And right now, at this very moment, the heavens are shifting. The atmosphere is changing. Something is happening in the spiritual realm that is about to manifest in the natural. But will you be ready? Will you stand firm? Will you keep pressing forward even when it gets hard? Because what God has planned for you is too great to miss. The promise is too powerful to let go of now. You have come too far to turn back. And I declare over you today that the wait is almost over. The answer is near. The breakthrough is happening. The manifestation is on the way. So lift your head. Strengthen your faith. Hold on to the word that God has spoken, because something you've been praying for is about to happen. The doors that were shut are about to open. The chains that held you back are about to break. The delay that has frustrated you is about to end. And when it does, you will look back and realize that every moment of waiting, every tear, every prayer was worth it. Because when God moves, He moves in ways that leave no doubt that it was Him. Keep standing, keep believing, keep expecting, because God is not finished yet. God is preparing you for something greater than you can see right now. The season you are in is not a mistake. The delays, the struggles, the waiting, it's all part of a divine setup. But this is where many people miss it. They see the struggle, they feel the pressure, and they assume God is absent. But in reality, the pressure is a sign that something is about to break forth. The waiting is proof that God is working behind the scenes. Every great move of God in Scripture was preceded by a season of waiting, a time of testing, and a moment where it seemed like nothing was happening. But when the time came, the breakthrough happened suddenly. Think about Joseph. He had dreams of greatness, of ruling, of being elevated. But the process he had to go through before the promise was painful. His own brothers betrayed him, threw him into a pit, and sold him into slavery. Just when things started looking better in Potiphar's house, he was falsely accused and thrown into prison. Years passed. To the natural eye, it looked like his dream had died. But what Joseph didn't know was that his suffering was positioning him. His trials were preparing him. And when the moment came, he was elevated overnight from the prison to the palace. Some of you have been wondering why your breakthrough hasn't come yet. You've been questioning why things seem to be getting harder instead of easier. But what if I told you that the struggle is a sign that you are right on the edge of something supernatural? What if I told you that the pressure you feel is the final stretch before your promotion? God never allows His children to go through trials without a purpose. If you are being tested, it means there is something valuable inside of you that the enemy wants to destroy. But he cannot win unless you give up. This is why the enemy tries to attack your faith. He knows that faith is the key to your breakthrough. He knows that if he can make you doubt, if he can make you walk away before the promise comes, he can keep you from what God has for you. That's why he sends distractions. That's why he whispers lies in your mind telling you that God has forgotten you, that your prayers are pointless, that you might as well give up. But he is a liar. The Word of God says that he is the father of lies, and there is no truth in him. If the enemy is attacking you this hard, it's because he sees what's coming. He sees the blessing that is about to be released over your life. He sees the doors that are about to open, and he is desperate to stop you before you step into it. But I declare over you today that he will not win. You will not give up. You will not be shaken. Because what God has spoken over your life will come to pass no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard the road gets. Look at the story of David. When he was anointed as king, he didn't step into the throne the next day. He had to go through years of battles, betrayals, and wilderness experiences. He had to hide in caves, run for his life, and endure moments of deep discouragement. But in the midst of it all, he never stopped trusting God. And at the appointed time, the promise was fulfilled. He became king just as God had said. God does not make mistakes. He does not forget his promises, and he does not leave his children stranded. If he said it, he will do it. But the question is, will you endure until the fulfillment? Will you keep trusting him even when things don't make sense? Will you hold on to your faith even when everything around you is shaking? Because those who endure, those who stand firm, those who refuse to let go, will see the manifestation of God's word in their life. Some of you have been praying for years and you're wondering when your moment will come, but let me remind you, delay does not mean denial. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not coming. God is not slow in keeping his promises. He is precise. He is intentional. And when he moves in a way that leaves no room for doubt. When he answers in such a way that only he can get the glory. That is why some things have taken longer than you expected. If God had given it to you earlier, you might have thought it was your own effort. If the door had opened too soon, you might have given credit to the wrong people. But God is making sure that when the blessing comes, there will be no confusion. It will be clear that it was His hand at work. Think about the Israelites at the Red Sea. They had just been delivered from Egypt, but then they found themselves trapped between the sea and Pharaoh's army. To the natural eye, it looked like God had abandoned them. It looked like they were about to be destroyed. But what they didn't realize was that God had already planned their escape. The way was already made. They just couldn't see it yet. And at the right moment, when it seemed impossible, God parted the sea. That is how He works. Just when it looks like there is no way out, He makes a way. Just when it seems like the enemy has won, He turns the battle in your favor. Just when it seems like all hope is lost, He shows up and does what only He can do. But the key is, you must not give up before the miracle happens. You must not turn back before the breakthrough comes. Because what God has prepared for you is greater than what you have been praying for. Some of you have been asking God for one thing, but He is preparing to give you something even bigger. Some of you have been believing for a small breakthrough, but God is about to release an overflow. He is not a God of just enough. He is a God of more than enough. When He blesses, He does it abundantly. When He moves, He does it supernaturally. And when He restores, He doesn't just bring back what was lost, He multiplies it. That is why you must stay in position. That is why you cannot let go of your faith now. Because the season is shifting, the doors are opening, the answer is being released, and when it comes, it will come suddenly, it will come in a way that no one expected, it will come in a way that leaves people speechless, because that is how God works. But the question is, will you be ready? Will you be found in faith when the answer comes? Will you still be standing when the door opens? Because God is looking for those who will believe even when they can't see. He is looking for those who will trust Him even when the journey is long. He is looking for those who will hold on to His word no matter what comes against them. This is your time to prepare. This is your moment to strengthen your faith. Because the waiting season is almost over. The promise is about to be fulfilled. The prayer you have been praying is about to be answered. But you must not grow weary now. You must not let go now. Because what God has prepared is bigger than you can imagine, greater than you have prayed for, and beyond what you thought was possible. Stay in faith. Keep pressing forward. Because the breakthrough is already in motion. The manifestation is closer than you think. And when it happens, you will see that every moment of waiting, every trial, every battle was leading you to this very moment. The moment where God steps in and does what only He can do. Keep believing, keep trusting, because something you have been praying for is about to happen. The enemy has tried everything to make you believe that your prayers are in vain. He has whispered doubts into your mind, making you question whether God has heard you at all. But the fact that you are still here, still holding on, still believing is proof that God has been strengthening you in the waiting. The battle is not designed to break you. It is designed to build you. The pressure you feel is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign of preparation. When a seed is planted in the ground, it does not immediately sprout. There is a period of time where nothing appears to be happening. The soil looks undisturbed, the surface remains unchanged, but beneath the ground, in the unseen realm, transformation is taking place. Roots are growing, the foundation is being established, the structure necessary to sustain growth is forming. And then suddenly, when the time is right, the seed breaks through the soil and what was hidden begins to manifest. This is what is happening in your life. God has planted something inside of you, and though you may not see the full manifestation yet, the growth has already begun. Every prayer you have prayed has watered that seed. Every moment of faith, even when you didn't feel like believing, has strengthened its roots. Every trial you have endured has prepared it for the moment when it will break through into the visible realm. And when that happens, it will not be a small gradual change, it will be a sudden shift. Think about Elijah on Mount Carmel. He had prayed for rain during a season of drought. He sent his servant to check the sky, and the report came back the same every time. There was nothing. But Elijah did not stop praying. He did not allow the delay to discourage him. He continued to believe even when there was no evidence of change. And then on the 7th time his servant returned and said, I see a cloud as small as a man's hand rising from the sea. That small cloud was the beginning of an outpouring so great that the entire land was drenched in rain. What if Elijah had given up after the 6th time? What if he had stopped praying right before the breakthrough? How many of us have been on the verge of our blessing but turned back too soon? The rain was coming, but he had to persist in faith until he saw it. That is what God is asking of you now. He is asking you to keep believing, to keep declaring, to keep expecting, because the rain is coming. The breakthrough is coming. The answer is on its way. The challenge for many believers is that they want to see it before they believe it. They want proof before they trust God's word, but that is not faith. Faith is believing before you see. Faith is trusting even when there is no evidence. Faith is stepping out of the boat like Peter did, walking on the water simply because Jesus said, come. Peter did not wait for the waves to calm down. He did not ask for a guarantee that he wouldn't sink. He moved at the word of the Lord, and as long as his eyes were on Jesus, he defied the natural laws of this world. But the moment he looked at the storm, the moment he focused on the circumstances instead of the promise, he began to sink. That is exactly what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to focus on what is going wrong. He wants you to be consumed by the delays, the disappointments, the struggles, so that you lose sight of what God has spoken. But you must fix your eyes on Jesus. You must anchor your faith in his word, because the storm does not determine your destiny. God does. You may have been waiting for a long time, but do not mistake waiting for inactivity. Heaven is moving on your behalf. There are things shifting in the spiritual realm that you cannot see yet. Just because the natural has not caught up with what God is doing in the supernatural does not mean nothing is happening. Daniel prayed and fasted for 21 days before he saw the answer. But when the angel arrived, he revealed that the answer had been sent the very first day he prayed. It was not that God was slow in responding. It was that there was spiritual opposition delaying the manifestation. The enemy does not want you to receive what God has for you. He knows that if you step into your purpose, if you walk into your blessing, if you move in the authority God has given you, his kingdom will suffer loss. So he tries to wear you out. He tries to discourage you. He tries to convince you that nothing is changing. But you must not fall into his trap. Because what he does not want you to realize is that his attacks are proof that your breakthrough is near. Look at Job. He went through unimaginable suffering. He lost everything, his wealth, his family, his health. His friends told him to curse God and give up. But Job refused. He held on to his integrity. He held on to his faith. And in the end, God restored him with twice as much as he had before. The very thing the enemy used to try to destroy him became the testimony of his victory. That is what God is about to do for you. He is about to take everything the enemy used against you and turn it around for your good. The very thing that was meant to break you will become the testimony that lifts you. The battle you thought would destroy you will be the reason you step into greater glory. Because God never allows suffering without purpose. He never permits pain without a plan for restoration. This is why you must not give up now. You are closer than you have ever been before. Every setback was a setup for a greater comeback. Every closed door was God's way of redirecting you to something better. Every delay was an act of divine protection. And now, the season is shifting. The prayers you have prayed are about to be answered. The doors that were locked are about to be opened. The chains that held you back are about to be broken. It is happening suddenly. It is happening unexpectedly. It is happening in a way that will leave no doubt that it was the hand of God. You have been in a season of hidden preparation, but now God is about to bring you into visibility. You have been in a place of refining, but now God is about to release you into purpose. The weight you have been carrying is about to be lifted. The heaviness you have felt is about to be replaced with joy. The enemy tried to convince you that this season would never end, but he is a liar. God is faithful to his word. He is not a man that he should lie. If he said it, he will do it. If he promised it, he will fulfill it. And no force in hell, no power of the enemy, no delay, no opposition can stop what God has ordained for your life. This is your moment to stand firm. This is your moment to declare by faith that you will not be moved. This is your moment to praise God in advance for what is already on its way, because what you have been waiting for is about to manifest. What you have been believing for is about to be seen. And when it happens, it will be more than you imagined, greater than you expected, and beyond what you thought was possible. Keep pressing forward. Keep standing in faith, because what is coming is bigger than you can comprehend. It is not just a blessing, it is an overflow. It is not just an answer, it is a divine fulfillment. The windows of heaven are about to open, and when they do, nothing will be able to stop the outpouring of God's favor upon your life. Get ready, because it is happening. Keep your faith strong, because the manifestation is closer than you think. And when it arrives, you will know without a doubt that it was the hand of God at work all along. The weight of expectation can be overwhelming, but do not let it cause you to doubt. What God is about to do is not something small. It is not a minor change, a little adjustment, or just a simple breakthrough. It is something so significant that it will change the course of your life. This is not just an answered prayer, it is a fulfillment of destiny. This is not just about receiving a blessing. It is about stepping into the purpose for which you were created. And when God moves, it will not be in a way that makes sense to human understanding. It will not be logical, and it will not follow the patterns of this world. Look at Joseph. He was given a dream as a young man, a promise from God that he would one day be in a position of great authority. But the path to that promise did not look like a path of favor. He was betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. Everything in his life seemed to be moving in the opposite direction of what God had spoken. But what Joseph did not know was that every painful step was part of God's divine plan to position him for the fulfillment of the promise. What looked like rejection was actually redirection. What seemed like betrayal was actually preparation. And at the appointed time, in a single moment, Joseph was taken from the prison to the palace. He did not see it coming. He was not warned in advance. He woke up that morning as a prisoner and went to bed that night as the second most powerful man in Egypt. That is the kind of sudden shift God is preparing for you. Do not think that your struggles have disqualified you. Do not believe the lie that your mistakes have canceled God's plan for your life. God does not change his mind about you. His purpose for you was written before the foundations of the world. Before you ever faced a battle, before you ever made a mistake, before you ever doubted or feared, he had already ordained your destiny. And he will bring it to pass despite everything the enemy has tried to do to stop it. Think about Peter. He walked with Jesus, saw miracles with his own eyes, and yet, in a moment of fear, he denied the very one he had pledged to follow. By human standards, that failure should have disqualified him. He should have been cast aside, rejected, and forgotten. But Jesus did not see Peter as he was in that moment. He saw who Peter would become. And after the resurrection, Jesus sought him out, restored him, and reaffirmed his calling. That same Peter, who once denied Jesus, became the rock upon which the church was built. That same Peter, who once let fear control him, became a bold preacher of the gospel, leading thousands to salvation. Why? Because when God speaks a word over your life, he does not change his mind. His plans for you are not based on your perfection. They are based on his divine purpose. And when he has called you, no mistake, no failure, and no enemy can stop his plan from coming to pass. There have been moments when you felt abandoned, times when you wondered if God had forgotten you, but he has never left you. Even in the silence, he was working. Even in the waiting, he was moving. And now, the shift is happening. You have been tested, but the test was not to destroy you, it was to prepare you. You have been pressed, but the pressing was not to crush you, it was to refine you. You have been stretched, but the stretching was not to break you, it was to expand your capacity for what is coming next. There are doors opening that you did not even know existed. There are opportunities aligning that you could not have orchestrated on your own. There are divine connections being made that will accelerate you into your purpose. God is not just giving you what you prayed for, He is giving you more. He is exceeding your expectations. The enemy thought he could stop you. He thought the attacks would break you. He thought the delays would cause you to give up. But he underestimated the power of God in your life. He did not realize that every trial was making you stronger, that every disappointment was deepening your faith, that every setback was positioning you for a greater comeback. This is your season of restoration. Everything the enemy stole, God is returning with interest. Everything that was lost, God is redeeming. Every tear you cried in private, God is about to turn into joy in public. The suffering of the past season will not compare to the glory that is about to be revealed. And when it happens, it will not just be for you. Your breakthrough is not just about you. It is about those connected to you. Your testimony will be the key that unlocks someone else's faith. Your victory will be the evidence that God is still in the business of doing miracles. Your story will be a light for those who are still in the darkness. Do not be surprised when people who doubted you begin to see the hand of God on your life. Do not be shocked when those who wrote you off begin to wonder how you made it. They will see the manifestation of what God promised you. They will witness the fulfillment of His word in your life. And there will be no other explanation but God. You will not have to fight for this. You will not have to strive to make it happen. God Himself will do it. He will go before you. He will make the crooked places straight. He will remove every obstacle in your way. He will open doors that no man can shut. All you need to do is stay ready. Keep your faith strong. Keep your heart pure. Keep your eyes on Him. Because at the appointed time, in the perfect moment when everything is aligned, the very thing you have been waiting for will be released into your life. And when it happens, it will be bigger than you imagined, greater than you expected, and more powerful than you ever dreamed. God is faithful. He has not forgotten you. The waiting has not been wasted. The promise is still alive, and now the time is near. Stay expectant. Stay prepared. Because what is coming is beyond anything you have ever seen before. Everything you have been praying for, everything you have been waiting on, everything you thought was delayed or denied, God has been preparing it for the appointed time. And now that time is near. The struggles you endured were not in vain. The battles you fought were not for nothing. The pain you carried was not without purpose. Every moment of waiting, every tear you cried, every prayer you whispered in the dark, God has seen it all. And He is about to move in a way that will leave no doubt that His hand has been on your life all along. Do not let fear hold you back. Do not let doubt cloud your vision. Do not let past disappointments make you believe that God has forgotten you. He is faithful. He is true. And when He speaks, His word does not return void. Your breakthrough is coming. Your season is shifting. Your testimony is being written. When it happens, give Him the glory. When the doors open, walk through them with boldness. When the promise is fulfilled, let the world see that it was God who did it. Stay ready. Stay faithful. Because what is coming is greater than you ever imagined.